This is my story, and this is my testimony. As the sun set on the eve of my 48th birthday, I found myself reflecting on a moment that changed my life forever. A moment when God's expression of mighty grace and his outstretched arm was undeniably at work. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And to my returning subscribers, welcome. My name is Denise Onupita. So let's get to it. It was a clear, beautiful day, and I was driving home excited and looking forward to seeing my lovely wife after an amazing trip to London. I had been invited by my brother D. Jones to an incredible concert he was directing. Seeing how he works behind stage was such an amazing experience, and I'm proud of him. We had talked about great memories we've had in the past as children and talked about greater things to come. Little did I know the devil was mad because he knew God was definitely up to something. I'm alive today because God kept me. I was driving on a familiar country road, the kind of road I had traveled countless times. An hour before the incident occurred, I heard a bump as if someone had hit my car. I looked into my rear and side mirrors, but there was no one in sight. Now I know it was the Spirit of God that was definitely showing me things to come, just like in the book of John. From then on, I started driving with extra caution. Even when I want to race, I would remember. Truth be told, there were times I drove too fast, but not on this day. Little did I know that this ordinary day would turn into extraordinary testimony of faith and divine intervention. The first sign of trouble came out of nowhere. 20 minutes before my arrival at home, an old lady drove straight onto the road, disregarding every traffic rule. Everything happened so quickly. The honking, the screeching tires. Suddenly, there was a crash, and she shoved me to the other side of the road. Now I can say she shoved me to the other side of the road, but I can honestly tell you at that moment, I thought I was still on my part of the road. The shattering of glass and the explosion of airbags. Definitely, the Lord gave his angels charge over me and watched over me. I woke up few seconds. I can't tell you how long it was, but then to my amazement, my car was smoking. I did not know what happened. I couldn't recollect. Everything happened within split seconds, but it felt like forever. In those terrifying moments, all I could do was pray. Jesus, 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 I cried out, my voice barely audible as I became unconscious for a moment. As the car finally came to a halt, wedged between the traffic sign, I was disoriented and in shock, but miraculously, I felt no pain. I unbuckled my seatbelt and crawled, what felt like running at the time. Out of the wreckage, my knee buckled, my heart pounding in disbelief. I stood there in the middle of the forest, taking in the gravity of what had happened. The car was total loss, the front a twisted heap of metal. Yet I was unscathed. It was then I felt an overwhelming sense of peace and gratitude. I knew without a doubt that God's hand had kept me, protecting me from what should have been a fatal accident. As I looked around and realized just how miraculous my escape had been, the traffic sign had stopped my car from plummeting further, and the absence of any serious injuries. It was all too perfect to be mere coincidence. I immediately placed an emergency call. helped arrive shortly after, and I'm grateful for the rapid response of the police and ambulance services here in Germany. Two passing drivers had seen the wreck and called emergency services as well. Just like Job in the Bible, God protected my life, and right away I knew God gave me a second chance to fulfill his purpose. Before now, if you had asked me my why, I would tell you all the success I want to achieve doing business, be it singing, styling, real estate, and all of that good stuff. But now I definitely know God gave me a second lease of life. And I know he wants to use me. I know why God kept me here. And I'm ready for ministry. That is what God wants to hear from you. And I could relate my story to that of Jonah. You know, like sometimes you get carried away in life and you're busy doing your own thing, but some things can just happen and it keeps you focused. And that is exactly what happened to me. After the accident had happened, I heard clearly in my spirit and I knew God wants to use me. And so now, more than ever before, I am ready to be used by God, because He just reminded me that this life is fickle. It could just happen and the next minute you are not there. So I definitely know the life that I live now is not my own. You know, I mean, I will still enjoy life. I will still do all the good things that I'm set out to do. But more than ever before, I know my why is to be here and lift the name and the presence of God wherever I go. As I was taken to the hospital for a thorough checkup, I couldn't stop thanking God for his incredible mercy and protection. The doctors were amazed that I had walked away without a single scratch. In fact, one of them actually told me you had 1,000 angels watching over you, attributing my survival to sheer luck. But I knew better. It was not luck. It was a divine miracle. In the days and weeks that followed, I shared my testimony and my story with friends and family, and anyone who would listen. Each time I emphasized the power of prayer and the reality of God's presence in our lives. My testimony became a source of inspiration and hope, and a reminder that we are truly never alone, even in our darkest moments. What the enemy meant for evil, God has turned around for my good. Today, I celebrate my 48th birthday. I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude. Every sunrise feels like a gift, every breath a blessing. I know that I am here, alive and well because of God's unending grace and love. This experience has deepened my faith and strengthened my resolve to live each day with purpose and joy. To anyone hearing this story, I want you to know that miracles do happen. God's protection is real and his love is unwavering. Trust in him, for he is always watching over us, guiding us through life's trials and triumphs. I am a living proof that with God, all things are possible. We overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. This is my story and this is my testimony. God bless you.